Okay, shalom.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach Yom Teruah. We're going to be reading the Jewish scriptures, Torah readings, for the 2 days of what's called Rosh Hashanah. Biblically, it's Yom Teruah. Rosh Hashanah means the head of the year, which it is the head of the biblical year. The sabbatical years and the Jubilees begin counting in month 7. After the harvest, once you've harvested, then it's the declaration of the new sabbatical year or Jubilee year. After, it's instituted on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Teruah, but the captives don't go free until after Yom Kippur. We're going to be reading Genesis 21 and Genesis 22. Genesis 21 is the reading for the first day. Genesis 22 the reading for the second day. Everything about this points to Yeshua. Everything about this points to Yeshua. Did a teaching a few years ago about Yeshua Sahapanim. This is mentioned in the Jewish Maxor for Rosh Hashanah. Maxor means prayer book. I'll put a link in the description for you to go watch that. It's an incredible insight into the fact that the Jewish people know that Yeshua is the Mashiach. There's no way that Yeshua Sahapanim, Yeshua Prince of the Faiths, is going to be mentioned in the prayers on the Day of Judgment, Yom Kippur, where you're calling upon the mercy of Yahweh, unless they at one level deeply know and understand that Yeshua is the Mashiach. Okay, this is to me confirmation. However, the Torah readings are also confirmation, because it's all about the binding of Yitzhak, ultimately the birth of the seed, the promised seed, the binding of Yitzhak. However, even more telling is the Haftarah for the second day especially, because it's Jeremiah 31. They don't go all the way through 31. They just read the first 19 verses. Okay, but it's wanting to push you into an awareness regards the new covenant. The new covenant is in Jeremiah 31. They don't read the commencement of the new covenant, but they go and read up to it. They're wanting to push you in the direction of understanding that ultimately Yeshua is the Mashiach. Okay, so let's read on.
Okay, Genesis 21.
Yeah.
And Yahuwah visited Sarah as he had said. And Yahuwah did unto Sarah as he had spoken. And Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which Yahuwah had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Yitzhak. And Abraham circumcised his son Yitzhak, being 8 days old, as Yahuwah had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, Yahuwah hath made me to laugh. All that here will laugh with me.
Yeah, and that word laugh is, it says, Sarah hok osa li. Sarah, laughter he has made for me.
Praise.
Elohim kol, all hashome'ah, all whoever hears Yitzhak li will laugh for me or with me.
And she said, verse 7, Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah hath given him children suck? For I have borne a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the day that Isaac was weaned. Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out the bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, with Yitzhak. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And Yahuwah said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of the bondwoman. In all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice. For in Yitzhak shall thy seed be called.
Yeah. Can I just also say, Besora means glad tidings, but it also, in Hebrew, is the exact letters for in Sarah. And there are,
Wow.
yeah, Besora, in Sarah, or on Sarah, but there are actual instances in the Torah where Besora is written meaning in Sarah. I'll try and find that for you. Okay, can't quite find it, but there is reference in the actual Tanakh of Besara referring to Sarah. I've looked it up before. Carry on,
I'll
Lover.
go back to the verse just to get context. And
Yeah.
Yahuwah said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of the bondwoman, in all that Sarah hath said unto thee. Hearken to her voice, for in Yitzhak shall thy seed be called. And also the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, gave unto Hagar on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat down over against, a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, Let not see the death of the child. And she sat over against, and lifted up her voice, and wept. And Yahuwah heard the voice of the lad. And the angel of Yahuwah called to Hagar out of the Shemayim, and said unto her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for Yahuwah hath heard the voice of the lad, where he. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. And Yahuwah opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. She went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink. Yahuwah was with the lad as he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, then became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran. And his mother took him a wife at the land of Mitzrayim.
Yeah.
Egypt.
Can I just say, there's all kinds of messianic inference in here, because also Ishmael plays a very major role in the concept of the Mashiach to be found in Torah, because ultimately the Mashiach is a unity of all the Abrahamic faiths, so that the Mashiach is king over, like Yahweh is king over Yasharel, Israel, but also the nations are Goyim. In here he's called a Goyim. He will be made into a great nation, Ishmael. But there's a word here that stood out to me. Hagar was opposite him. Hagar represents, and Ishmael to a certain degree represents the nations, and the nations represent the feminine aspect of humanity, whereas Israel represents the son, the masculine aspect of humanity. And she is opposite. She's called Mineged. This is in chapter 16. Eve was opposite Adam. She was Neged. Now, Neged can either mean opposition in terms of adversary, or it can be your helpmate.
Face to face.
Face to face, opposite in love. Not opposite back to back, opposite
face-off.
to face love. And at this time we can see that the nations that are headed up by Ishmael, the Muslim people who were of a Muslim faith in Avraham, they are opposite in a bad way. They are adversary in a bad way. There will come a time when we come face to face in love and respect, where we know each other's got a necessary part to play in the messianic redemption, in the building up of the kingdom of heaven, in the revealing of the holy name, and in the establishing of truth on earth that sprouts from the ground. We've all got a part to play in that, and the fact that Ishmael is part of the Torah, very significantly part of the Torah, and we can see the nearness of the Elohim of Avraham to Hagar. We can see the promises revealed. We can see the nearness that Hagar was able, a malach of Elohim was revealed to Hagar. There's something that we've got to pay attention to, because it's so easy to dismiss Islam as the Antichrist and the Anti-Messiah, where really all of the religions have an aspect of the Anti-Messiah. The Anti-Messiah are the lies that divide. And every one of the Abrahamic Faiths has also got an aspect of the Messiah, the truth that unites. And you've got to reveal from each of the Abrahamic Faiths the truth that unites and discard the lies and the bad interpretations that divide. We want a good interpretation of holy texts, ones that reveal that Yahweh has a plan that's bigger than me, it's bigger than you. His plan regarding the Messiah of Yod Heh Wah, the Messiah of his holy name, which is Yeshua HaMashiach, is to bring unity and salvation and revelation and redemption for all humanity ultimately. All of Adam fell, all of Adam will be raised up. And the forefather in whose name that unity is represented is Avraham. Okay, it's got to bear all this in mind. Read it very carefully and allow these words to speak to us that in ways that bring unity, not hatred and anger, and where we opposite each other in an evil way. We need to be opposite one another in achad, like man and wife opposite each other in achad. Think about the cherubim, the cherubs on top of the Ark of the Covenant, and they are facing each other, opposite each other, facing each other in love. Then the mercy seat where Yahweh dwells is revealed between two face-to-face opposites, and they represent male and female, Israel and the nations, body and soul, heaven and earth. So this is what we need unity between.
Yeah. And she said, sorry, go back to verse 16, and she went and sat her down over against a good way off.
Yeah, Meneged, opposite him.
As it were a bow shot.
Yeah.
For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against.
Opposite.
And lifted up her voice and wept. And Yahuwah heard the voice of the lad.
Okay. Yeah. The actual word is Elohim.
The Elohim
heard
the voice of the lad.
Yeah, because we've got to understand that the name is not revealed in Islam, because they represent the nations. Israel is the son, and only to Israel, i.e. the Jewish people, Yehudim, and Yosef is the name of Yahweh revealed. The name represents the masculine Israel, the son, the Vav. The nations are represented by the letter He of the holy name. The female.
What I'm pointing out here, Hagar was crying and weeping, yet Elohim heard the voice of the lad.
Yes.
And the angel of Elohim called to Hagar out of heaven, said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for Elohim hath heard the voice of the lad where he is.
Yishmael, he has heard. His name means Shema'el, Yishmael. Elohim has heard. Elohim has understood. Can we say the same?
Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a gadol goyim. a great nation.
Yeah. Ki Lagoy Gadol. Goy Gadol. Great nation, Yahweh.
And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with the water and gave the lad drink.
Mm-hmm.
Elohim was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt.
Yeah.
And it came to pass at the time that Amalek and Philco,
Abimelech.
and Philco, the chief captain of the host, spake unto Abraham, saying, Elohim is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by Elohim that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's sons, according to the kindness which I have done unto thee, that thou should do unto me and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of the well of water which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away. And Abimelech said, I wot not who hath done this thing, neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard I, but today. And Abraham took sheep, oxen, and gave them to Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What these 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, For 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be witnesses unto me that I have digged this well. Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they swear both of them. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up, and Philco, the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines.
Philistine giants.
And planted a grove in Beersheba, and called there on the name of Yahuwah. Good, you got that?
Yeah.
The everlasting.
Yeah.
Elohim. And Abraham sojourned.
The land of the
In the
Philistines.
Philistines many days.
Yamim Rabim. Okay, very interesting that he planted a tree. That tree is Eshel tree. It's symbolic of the Aleph, Shin and Lamed. It's I'm going to speak from memory now. The Eshel tree represents hospitality. The Aleph stands for Ochel, eating. The Shin stands for lodging, sleeping. And the Lamed stands for accompanying, teaching Torah and then accompanying your guests to their homeward destination. Okay. There are also, in this order, 3 stones on the breastplate. Now, Abraham represents Chesed. It's even mentioned here, isn't it?
Grace.
Abimelech mentioned the Chesed.
Yeah.
So it stands for loving kindness. Hospitality is a great way to demonstrate loving kindness.
Amen.
It's a holy way to demonstrate loving kindness.
Yeah.
There's 3 stones on the breastplate. We did a teaching on this, didn't we? It's an awesome teaching, contrasting the difference between the holy high priest, which is Avraham, which is ultimately supernal chesed. If you want to be a high priest in this world, you've got to learn how to be kind. Because do you see, the high priest in the temple of Yahweh is supernal chesed. Well, supernal, that means holy, above loving kindness. So going back to the breastplate of the high priest, there's 3 stones. Achlama, which is amethyst. Shevo, it's another stone. And Lashem. I believe they're the 3. So you've got Aleph, Shin, Lamed, Eshel tree. When it comes to Ezekiel 28, I do believe, the king of Tyre talks about the king of Tyre's breastplate. But the breastplate on the king of Tyre's garments have only got 9 stones. The king of Tyre is synonymous with the fallen angels, the dominion of the fallen angels, and also Satan. It's one of the terms for Satan. It's in this book, isn't it, that we read? The king of Tyre is one of the names for Satan, our adversary. He acts as a high priest until we raise ourselves up to full status in Mashiach.
Hallelujah.
Abraham, the high priest, according to
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek appeared to Abraham.
Yes.
Okay, there's all kinds of wonderful mysteries involved in this. However, it's very simple at another level, because the distinction is our hospitality. The king of Tyre, Satan, has got all the same stones on his breastplate. He's got 3 missing, however. He's got the Achlamah, the Shavor, and the Lashem, which are spelled Eshel. He's got the hospitality missing. He can talk the talk. He might even be able to walk the walk to some degree, but he's not hospitable. He's not going to prepare a meal for you. He's not going to show you loving kindness. Okay, he's a fraud. No. He's going to have loving kindness missing. He's not our high priest, although he will parade about as if he is.
Torah.
With his fiery Torah and his judgment and his persecution and his criticism. He's not there to build you up. He's not there to edify. He's not there to teach you Torah. He's there to lord himself all over you, and he won't even make you a meal. He'll keep you hungry. We got to be like Avraham. And Avraham represents 3 Abrahamic Faiths, by the way, unity between the 3 Abrahamic Faiths. And if you look within Judaism, you've got this incredible hospitality. I lived in the Manchester community. Every single Shabbat we had Kiddush prepared. Somebody in that synagogue paid and funded for us all to eat after the service. Every time I went to a church on the island of Mull, there was a meal prepared at the end of the service, and a lot of Christians are very hospitable and provide food and meal. In Islam, there's a very, very big gift of hospitality. You know, the Muslims are very, very generous when it comes to food, and they love it when they're sharing the food with you. I have a story, I'm not going to repeat it now, but when I took my children into Jerusalem, took them to Israel for 2 weeks, I took the children a lot, you know, the youngest children especially. My son's been over 10 times, but my eldest children, I took them alone for 2 weeks. We went all over and had the most amazing time possible. But my main reason for taking them was for them to experience Yehovah for themselves. And we went everywhere. We went up Beatitudes, we went up Mount Hermon, we went in Zin Valley Wilderness, Land Rover tours and cruises, we went on a camel ride on the old Silk Road. We went all over the length and breadth of Israel in a wonderful car, all air conditioned, went down to Masada, Dawn walks up Masada, you name it. And nothing resonated with my children. Eventually, went up to the Galilee, and I'd read in the New Testament that Yeshua went to the mountain. He went on retreat to the mountain, and I'm stood at Galilee thinking, okay, so which of these mountains is the mountain? And I was stood at the bottom. We'd been staying at Rosh Pina, which is down at the bottom of the Sea of Galilee, and I looked all the way up the Sea of Galilee to the mountains that surrounded it, and my eyes were drawn to this particular mountain. Something said, that's the mountain, Stephanie. So I drove the car and I sort of weaving my way around to try and get as close to this mountain as possible, and I ended up in a village called Migdal. I randomly, but by divine providence, knocked on this particular door. It was an Arab village. I didn't even know it was an Arab village. Knocked on the door. I did actually see a minaret. Knocked on this door. This couple came out. It was during Ramadan. And I said, look, I'm wanting to get to that mountain. How do I get to that mountain? And the wife spoke. She spoke better English than the husband. She says, my husband is the park keeper. This was part of a national park, and he can help you get to that mountain. they invited us into the home. They was about to break their fast of Ramadan that particular day. They invited me and the children into the home, this Arab family. We sat in the home of this Arab family. They got all the food out to us. Now, I just said to my son, before we went, I said, oh, Oscar, they don't only have date syrup. My children love date syrup. I said, the last time I was in Israel, I saw that they had date juice. I said, this time when we go to Israel, I'm going to get you some date juice. So we was in this Arab house, and they was asking us what would we like. They brought all these little patties out, all this salad stuff, and the hospitality was so wonderful. And the man asked my children, what would you like? Straight away my son said, oh, I'd like some date juice. Now I'm cringing, thinking they're never going to have any date juice, it's speciality. To go to the market to buy that. And the guy jumped up, he ran to the fridge, he had this date juice, he gave Oscar this date juice. He asked me what I'd like. I said, well, I'd never had any proper Arabic coffee made for me. The little father of the woman, the wife, jumped up, started making me all this Arabic coffee, and it had all these cardamom pods in it. It was an absolutely wonderful experience. He says, tomorrow I will meet you at 6 o'clock and I will guide you up the mountain. I'll show you the way to walk up the mountain. You've got to go early because it's so hot that if you go any later, you're putting your life at risk to be up on the mountain after a certain time. So we got up at 6 o'clock, met the guy, he took us up the mountain, came back down the mountain, drove round to his house later. And I'd already said to him, I says, I want to go up that mountain. And he said, his wife had said he's a park ranger. I says, is it a mountain that Jesus walked on? And the man said, yes. I says, how do you know it was a mountain that Jesus walked on? He says, because Nazareth is over there. He pointed, it's over there. And to get from Nazareth to the Galilee, you have to cross that mountain. So I thought, well, that is the mountain then. And when I went up, the mountain was Arbel in the Galilee. We had a wonderful time, came back down, and then later on, we called in at the family's house again to say thank you for all that they'd done to us. They invited us again in for the break of the fast. We went in and we got all the same hospitality again. And afterwards, we went out. It was just unbelievable. They'd just adopted a child. They'd been 20 years childless. It was the first fast where they'd ever had the singing and dancing of a child in the house. I think in Islam you're not allowed to actually adopt children, but these two had adopted a child from Jerusalem, and they were so happy. They were so happy. First time in all their married life they'd had a child in the house to dance and sing. She was called Diamond in Arabic, that's all I remember. But got outside and my son said, Mum. I said, what, son? And I'd taken the kids up Beatitudes. We'd had St. Peter's fish at the side of the Galilee, boat rides, you name it, we did it. All what I said before, my son turned round to me. We'd been to the Hack Hotel, all the holy sites. My son said, Mum. I said, what, love? He says, that was God, wasn't it? And I'm thinking, okay. So I'd taken them everywhere in the Holy Land of Israel, and it wasn't just Ramadan, it was our feast as well. I can't remember which one it was, maybe Sukkot, because it was very, very hot. And I'm thinking, I've taken these children all over to find and experience God for themselves. And during Ramadan, in an Arab person's house, whilst they're celebrating Ramadan, my children are witnessed God. And I'm thinking, I was almost perplexed. I was like thinking, why have you done this? I've got to admit that this is God. But I was so, in a way, I couldn't deny it. That was absolutely by divine providence. My children were in this Arab village after climbing the mountain of Jesus that the Arab man had taught us how to get up safely and back down safely through divine providence. After having the most wonderful hospitality and the most wonderful stories possible from this family, shown such great hospitality, that was a witness to my son who'd seen all that. Until that moment, he'd not experienced God for himself. And at that moment, in the through the Arab people's hospitality, my son experienced Yahweh himself. Now, what's that going to say to people? it should say we all need each other. We all need to be witnesses to each other, and it shows you the power of hospitality to reveal Yahweh himself. And that was from an Arab person. So 100% the hospitality of Arab people, the hospitality of Muslim people matters. And we should be celebrating and eating with one another more and more. And certainly in the Messianic kingdom, we definitely absolutely will be. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever. And this, you want to be like a true high priest, make sure you've got hospitality
Amen.
as part of your, your holy garments. Include hospitality, because without it you are Satan himself.
As your jewels.
Yes, yeah. Ornament yourself appropriately,
Praise
you know. Okay, lovely. There is actually a maftia here, which means the reading that you read that's specific to Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, which is Yom Teruah, and that's Numbers 29, 1-6. It tells you about the actual sounding of the shofar.
Numbers 29, verse 6. Beside the burnt offering of the month, and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offering, and his meat offering, their drink offerings according unto the manner for a sweet savour, a sacrifice by fire unto Yahuwah. And ye shall have on the 10th day of the 7th month, this is Yom Kippur.
Yeah, this the maftia. If you just have a look, you've got the day of blowing the shofar, but it goes through all the feasts of the 7th month, the holy 7th month.
On the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work in it, a day of blowing of the trumpets unto you.
Yeah. Yom
The day
Teruah.
Blowing trumpets unto you.
It shall be lochem for you, plural.
And ye shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet-smelling savour unto Yahuwah, one young bullock, one ram, 7 lambs in the first year without blemish. And their meat offering shall be flour mingled with oil, 3/10 dill for a bullock, and 2/10 dill of a ram, and 1/10 of the dill of the lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid for a goat, a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Beside the burnt offering of the month, and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offerings, and his meat offerings, and their drink offerings, according to their manner for a sweet savour, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yahuwah.
That's it. That's all you need to read. So that's the Torah readings, the complete Torah readings for the first day. Do you want to read the Haftarah for the first day, or do you want to read the Torah for this? The Haftarah is Shmuel,
Samuel.
the birth of Shmuel, Samuel.
Samuel 1.
Samuel 1:1-2:10.
Yeah, I do like this chapter.
Okay, so there's a lot of mystery involved with this. Shmuel was supposedly born around this time.
Do you want to go into day 2?
No, read the Haftarah, we'll do it in order. We like order.
Okay, Samuel 1, verse 1. And there was a certain man of Raphamim, Zophim, of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jehoram, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephraite.
You know, that's quite incredible. Let's see how many generations here. Because there was a certain man from Ramasim Zophim, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, which isn't that great a name, is it? Tohu Vabohu.
No.
Son of Zoph. You've got 4 generations, but he's the generation, Elkanah, isn't he? Then 3 generations. There's somebody else who goes back, it's Zephaniah. He gives 4 generations of himself all the way back, I think, to Hezekiah, doesn't he? Yeah, and the only person to give 4 generations of descendants in the entire Tanakh is Zephaniah.
Okay.
I just wanted to check out how many generations there.
Okay, and
So,
he had
yeah.
2 wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of the city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto Yahuwah Zaviots in Shiloh. It's quite noticeable that this man kept the feast out of this city. It doesn't say that everybody was doing it this time, which is a sad point.
Yeah.
This man went up to the city yearly to worship and sacrifice to Yahuwah Zaviots in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priest of Yahuwah, there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered and he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah. But Yahuwah had shut up her womb. And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because Yahuwah had shut up her womb. And he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of Yahuwah, so she provoked her.
Can I just say, this is, we were talking about this morning, where we were talking about how ultimately Satan is only in this world for our ultimate good, to cause us to have to work hard in order to inherit the promises and the oneness of Yahweh. Okay, so the sages know about this, and they speak about that when we recognize how Satan is only there for our ultimate good, to draw out of us our inner strength, our inner determination, and our desire to grow close to Yahweh. And one of the examples that the sages mention is Peninnah. Peninnah's saw, what's it called? What do you call it? Saw opposition. What did she do? Provocation. It was the adversary, and her adversary
provoked her sore.
Yeah.
And made her fret.
Yeah. This is
Because
Satan. Satan at work in Peninnah, provoking an adversary that provokes sorely Hannah, who became Samuel's wife. She drew out of Hannah the most wonderful prayer possible that resulted in the answering to that prayer as Prophet Shmuel, who was the greatest prophet that anointed the first kings of Israel. So just to bear that in mind, Satan is only a servant of Yahweh. Okay? He is not a secondary power. He's ultimately a servant of Yahweh himself.
Can you see this though, that year by year she provoked Hannah at this time when they went to the feast of Yahuwah.
Yeah. And Hannah means the grace of Yah. Hannah. Chaim.
She provoked her, therefore she wept and did not eat. She made her fast. I put her into a fast.
Yeah.
Then said Elkanah, her husband, to Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Not I better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by the post of the temple of Yahuwah.
Yeah, it's actually a throne, Kiseh, throne.
And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto Yahuwah, and wept sore. She vowed a vow, said, O Yahuwah Zavioth, if thou wilt indeed look upon the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but wilt give unto thine handmaid a child, then I will give him to Yahuwah all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before Yahuwah, that Eli, the high priest, marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought that she had been drunken. This was after they had eaten and drunk, by the way. And Eli said unto her, How long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. And Hannah answered and said, No, my master, I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before Yahuwah. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hitherto. And Eli answered and said, Go in shalom, and Elohim of Yashrael grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked for him. And she said, Let thine handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more. I got sad in the italics, but it was got rid of. Hallelujah.
Can I just say, this is only what the sages say, commentary, but Eli was the high priest, and he had the actual breastplate on him, and they had the Urim and Thummim, and he used to consult it, and the sages say the letters of the names of the tribes used to glow with the answer. The Urim were Thummim used to light up the letters on the breastplate in some way, and the three letters that lit up was Shin, Kof and Resh. Okay, and they spell drunk. But if you rearrange those same three letters, you get kosher. So he saw the three letters. This is the commentary. It's not written in the Torah, but Jewish commentary. Why was Eli accusing her of being drunk? Eli had the breastplate on. The three letters of Shin, Kof, Resh showed up, which is strong drink or drunk. But if you rearrange those letters, you get Kof, Shin, Resh, kosher. She was kosher. There's nothing wrong with this woman. So that's just something to highlight the fact that Eli was the high priest and he would have had that breastplate on. We've just been talking about the breastplate. So there was a purpose for that, to act as an oracle for Israel.
Verse 19. And they rose up in the morning early and worshipped before Yahuwah, and returned and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and Yahuwah remembered her. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come, about after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel, because I have asked him of Yahuwah.
Yeah, I have asked and I've received. She'al is to ask. Shemu'al.
And the man Elkanah and his house went up to offer unto Yahuwah the yearly sacrifices and his vow. But Hannah went not up, for she said to her husband, Until the child be weaned, and I will bring him, that he may appear before Yahuwah, and there abide forever. And Elkanah her husband said unto her, Do what seemeth good to thee, tarry until thou hast weaned him. Only Yahuwah established his word. So the woman abode, and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And when she had weaned him, she took him up with 3 bullocks, and 1 ephah of flour, and a bottle of wine, and brought him unto the house of Yahuwah in Shiloh. And the child was young. And they slew a bullock, and brought the child to Eli. And she said, O my master, thy soul liveth, my master. I, the woman that stood by thee, praying unto Yahuwah, for a child I pray, and Yahuwah hath given me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore also I have lent him unto Yahuwah as long as he liveth. He shall be lent unto Yahuwah, and he worshipped Yahuwah there.
Yeah, that word is Shaul. Shaul is dedicated. This is the name of Paul as well, isn't it? And Saul, King Saul. So Shemuel is more like his name is El. Shemu, his name is El. Yet in here it's interpreted as if I asked and I was answered. This also can mean dedicated. So this word dedicated is spelled Shaul.
Well, let's think about Beersheba.
Shaul, which is King Shaul.
How about Beersheba? sevens, a vow. We just read in the Torah.
Yeah,
With Abimelech, the king,
yeah,
he gave him 7 ewe lambs,
yeah,
a vow.
yeah. But the names, the reason why she's named him Shamuel
Yeah.
doesn't align with, doesn't necessarily align with
But she
the
swears.
reason she's called him it.
Yeah, but she swears him. She
Yeah.
lends him. So there's the outcome, that she lends him to Yahuwah all the days of his life.
Yeah,
So there's the vow for that.
yeah. I do understand that, but
Yeah.
the word Shamuel, let me just go see how it's spelt. Sha'alti of him.
Sure.
Where's the first mention of him?
That's what I'm saying.
Shemuel. Okay, so it tells you, it says Shemuel, which is Shin Mem Vav Aleph Lamed.
Shim Mem Vav.
Aleph
Nun
Lamed.
Lamed.
Shim Mem Vav Aleph Lamed. Shemuel. But that really is Shamu, which is his name, et Shamo, Shemuel. His name is El. But she says, because she's requested of Yahweh, She'il. But there's no mem in She'il to ask. However, when it comes to dedicating it, suddenly the name, he here uses the word, in 28, it says, so therefore I, Anachi, have dedicated him, She'il Tihu, to Yahweh. All the days that he lives, he is dedicated Shaul to Yahweh. Who was Shaul? Shaul was the first king of Israel. Okay, so there's some connection between Shemuel, his name is El, and Shemuel to here, although it's not spelt like that here. I just wanted to say, yeah, Ushmuel. There's no, it doesn't look like the word to ask, because the word to ask has no mem in it, whereas Shemuel has got a mem in it. But the breakdown would be his name is El, his name is God. Okay, so that's just interesting. Did we get to the end of that, love? I don't think we did we?
We're chapter 1, all of it.
Okay, so it goes up to, are you sure you read all of it?
Yep.
Okay, so it goes up to chapter 2, 10.
And Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoiceth in Yahuwah, mine horn is exalted in Yahuwah, my mouth is enlarged over mine enemies, Penina, because I rejoice in thy salvation. Now there is a testimony.
Yeah, Bishuatecha.
There is a testimony.
Bishuatecha.
Hallelujah.
Samachti Bishuatecha in your salvation.
None kadosh, holy as Yahuwah, for none besides thee, neither any rock like our Elohim Yahuwah. Talk no more, so exceedingly proud. Let arrogancy come out of your mouth, for Yahuwah, a Elohim of knowledge, by him actions are weighed. The bows of the mighty men broken, and they that stumbled are girded with strength. Full have hired themselves for bread, and hungry ceased, so that the barren hath borne 7. There it is again.
Yeah.
Shiva.
Shiva.
And she hath many children, is waxed feeble. Yahuwah killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. Yahuwah maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and he lifteth up. He raises up the poor out of the dust and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill.
This becomes Psalm 113.
It also becomes personal to me.
Yeah.
because I was a dustman and I drove around dung too. So he raises the poor out of the dust and lifted up the beggar, not the beggar, from the dunghill, to set him among princes and to make him inherit the throne of glory for the pillars of the earth. Yahuwah, and he has set the world upon them. He will keep the feet of his holy ones, Kadesh, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail. The adversaries of Yahuwah shall be broken to pieces out of the Shemayim. You hear that, angels? Shall he thunder upon them. Yahuwah shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his kings, and exalt the horn of his anointed. Amen.
Yeah, it's Karen Mashiach.
Yom Teruah. Praise Yahuwah. Amen.
Shalom.